for the Interverse. I am so excited to be here tonight as we have a special guest with us, Andrea Morrison. Welcome. Hi,
Hi.
Alexis. Thanks for being here. Well, Alexis, of course, you better be here, but
No,
but I'm really excited.
I'm so excited. It's so good to have you on, Andrea. And I didn't realize that we really didn't have that many guests this past cycle, like this past season, season one of Journey Through the Interverse. And I really enjoy having guests on and like bringing other perspectives and stuff on to chat with you all. So I'm really excited, and I'm assuming like we've talked about this before, but I feel like there's gonna probably be more guests this cycle than there was last
Oh
one.
yeah, absolutely. And Andrea, well, the three of us are part of Dreamigos. And so we have had like, I think, well, at least since I've known you, Andrea, it's been like 9 months, I think, when that we've been kind of in connection and talking about dreams. It was early in 2025. Yeah, this year,
I've like lost
earlier
track
this
of
year.
time. I don't
I'm
even
like,
know.
wait, we're not in 2026 yet. Yeah, so it was earlier this year when we connected. And I mean, Alexis and I have been like really plotting to have you on the podcast for a while, and it finally lined up. So I'm really excited.
Well, I'm so honored to be here. I'm so happy.
Do you want to just share a little bit about yourself for listeners and people watching?
Yeah, of course. So I know you mentioned it in the last episode, but my name literally has dream in it. So it's Andrea Morrison. And I actually did not even realize that dream was in my name until after I got into dream work. And you would think that would be like a duh moment since I was a child, but really like I got into my dreams and then was like, "Oh my gosh, this is meant to be. I am meant to be in dreams." So, kind of a quick I guess life story in a nutshell is I grew up in Spokane, Washington, and I grew up kind of in this kind of typical path. I had a really good job in a, a corporate role, marketing and production, and I thought I was going to retire there. And then I started having my spiritual awakening, and I started getting more and more into books and dreams and learning everything I could about anything spiritual, truly. And finally I started like I call it playing with the universe, and I was like asking for signs. What should I do? Where should I go? And a sign led me to Bali. And so I traveled there, and then that's on while I was in Bali, I was like, okay, I don't think I'm meant to be doing what I'm doing right now. I want to travel. I want to explore more. I want to like live my life as if it's a dream. And so I quit my job, and then I started traveling in 2017, and I traveled for about 8 years, living in Asia, in Europe, building my own business and kind of merging what I did at the TV station with this spiritual side of me. And now I'm an online business manager where I help my clients with all of their marketing, websites, podcasts, all that stuff. But all of my clients are under this kind of spiritual umbrella. So and then I can't even remember when it was either. That was kind of a fluke too. I just was randomly connected with Patrick, the founder of Dreamigos, and we started talking, and then it was like, all right, let's start recruiting people, and then reached out to you guys, and now, we have this team on Dreamigos, and it's just been honestly, like my business is called Dream Life Connection. And I feel like over the years, it has developed so much because at first, I remember when I created the name, I was sitting on the rooftop of my building in Vietnam, and I was looking out at the ocean, and I was like, my business was called Reality Dreamers at the time because I was like, I want to connect with people who like are in reality but also dreamers. And so it was Reality Dreamers, and I was like, I don't know if that name lands. So I was looking out at the ocean and then the clouds, and I'm like, connection, like infinity, like all of that. And I was like, Dream Life Connection. And so over the years, it's kind of turned into like, I help people connect with their dream lives. But now it's like, I help people connect with their dream lives, like waking life, their sleeping time, like all of it. It's all connected. And what I'm so proud of is that I feel like I've created my own dream life. Even just a year ago, I went through a complete 180 with my life and everything changed. I came back home, went through the dark night of the soul, and now I've built my life back up into this amazing dream life. And I'm like, okay, this is like it works. It works. And I honestly don't know if I've been this happy before, but I feel more me than I've ever been. And it's been so special to witness because I am witnessing it myself doing this, you know? And anyways, I could go on and on and on, but
That is so inspiring. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I mean, and that's why you were the perfect person to have talk about this, because the first episode, so the first part of this is titled the wait, shoot.
The parallels
The
between
parallels
waking
between
and the
dreaming.
dreaming.
Yes, the dreaming and the waking.
Mm-hmm.
And I have been wanting to talk about that for so long, because like with lucid dreaming, which is something you have a lot of experience with too, like I started to realize when it comes to mastering lucidity in a dream and the way you experience a dream from that lucid state, it's very similar to how, you should, quote unquote, live your life and be more present with your waking life to like make that meaningful or experience it in a meaningful way. And so when I really had that realization, it kind of just blew my mind and it all clicked together. And then I started to notice also just how they like feed into each other, and how, when you're more focused with your dreams or reflecting and present with them, you do therefore have like a more lucid experience in your waking life. And so, I love that you really connect to lucid living and what that means. And you're also very present in your dream space, because I know some people that like live a lucid life, like they use the term lucid living, but I don't really hear anything about the dream. So the fact that I know someone who's connected, the dreams and the waking, really just kind of, I mean, it made sense to have you for part two. So
yeah,
thank you so much.
of course.
Yes, thank you. And I also want to bring up the fact that you leaned into your intuition from the moment that things started to feel a little just not right for you. You leaned so heavily into it, and that's admirable, because for me, often I'm at a point right now where I'm only now realizing how important my intuition is. And like, even though I've always kind of led a little bit with it, I have had so much fear behind my intuition. And what was calling me, I would like sit in indecisiveness until the opportunity fell away and I didn't have it anymore. And so for you to be so connected to your intuition and go with the flow of where you feel like it's bringing you is such a cool experience. I'm perplexed. I actually, I found you, and I know you know this, and I know Urania knows this too, but I had come across you on that witch podcast years ago, just because I was getting into that witchy living type of spot in my life, and I had always had a connection to my dreams, but never knew that it was something that people experienced. Like, it was just something I shared with myself. So even though I've been integrated with that for me my entire life, it was not something that a lot of the people around me mentioned. So I found you through that witch podcast with your episode, and I connected through you from there. And I'm really happy I did, and I just feel like it was an opportunity for me to lean a little bit more into my dream space and feel like it's something that people really cared about and not just like was isolated for myself.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we have a few people here tonight in the chat. That's really exciting. Thank you so much for being
Kaylee.
here. Kaylee says, I love
Hi,
Andy's story
Kaylee.
so much. And Courtney's here. Courtney says, yay, glad I could make it live. Courtney, thank you so much for being here. It has been a while. We're happy you're here. And Jackie's here too, saying, hey, so welcome in. And
Hey.
if you have questions, comments, feel free to leave them in the chat and we will definitely make sure to bring attention to that. So, just to do a quick vibe check, how are the both of you feeling right now? Mercury has officially went retrograde in Sagittarius. We have Jupiter retrograde in Cancer. So there's a lot of like slowing down and reflection, and it kind of vibes with us here in this part of the world because we're in the second half of autumn and coming into winter. And so we're already kind of in that vibe of like being more introspective and just a little bit more quiet. And so I feel that, yeah, I've been feeling that recently, that quietness. And I've had already a lot of like aha moments and realizations come through the dream space and waking space. So I'm curious just how you two are doing right now, like in this moment, and how your dream space has been.
Go ahead, Andrea.
Okay. I feel so good, to be honest. I've been feeling it's been kind of a roller coaster. There's been like really high highs and really low lows, but it's like really fast. And so I feel like I'm kind of getting to that like equilibrium where it's like, all right, I'm settled and I moved to Seattle less than 3 months ago. So it was yet another transition and this is the first time I've lived alone in years. And so, like, I'm talking to myself all the time. I'm having dance parties in my living room, and I'm like, is this weird or is this normal? I don't know.
Totally
But
normal.
Totally
I
normal.
hope so. But it's been really fun. And it's like, I have moments too where I'm like, oh my gosh, I miss my past life. I start thinking about my travel times and I do get emotional and sad and and to the point where I'm like, I can't believe that was my life. I lived in Vietnam, I lived in Thailand, I lived in all these cool places. That was my life. And now I'm in a little apartment in Seattle and just being kind of a homebody now. But even while I was traveling, I was craving this. I was missing this. And I kind of knew that I was missing this when I had all these like little signs and indicators. And one time I did come home and I went to IKEA with my friend and I was like, I want this living room. I want this bedroom. And I'm like, I can't have it because I'm traveling. So now I'm here having it. And it's the first time I've had all my journals and dream journals and all my notebooks in one place. So I have them all organized chronologically. So in a lot of these evenings, I'm taking a random one out and going through it and reflecting. And I'm like, whoa, like, oh, Andrea, young Andrea, she had a lot to learn. But then it's also like, I'm not kidding. I feel like I finally understand. This is going to sound really weird, but I feel like I finally understand self-love. I feel like self-love is a concept that like I never quite understood. And it's like, what does it mean to love yourself? But while I'm reading all of this and remembering and who I am, I'm like, I love myself. I am really special. It's been
Yeah.
really fun. And some of the dance parties I've been having in my living room, I'm listening to love songs that, we always think of like another person, but it's like, actually, what if we sang the love songs to ourselves, to our younger selves or our future selves? Like, so I'm feeling really good. And hopefully this doesn't turn into a crash, but I'm
No.
feeling really good.
But you got yourself, even when you're in the lows, like you
For sure.
remember, you come back
Yeah.
at that.
Thanks to Lucid
Yeah.
Living,
Yes.
which we'll get
Yes.
into.
Yeah. Okay, Alexis.
Well, I do want to say, like, I completely understand what you're talking about. I feel very comfortable with myself, and I feel like I'm at a point where I have a lot of self-love, but I also have a lot of self-criticism. And I feel like it's important to acknowledge too that those can live together. Like, I'm working on that right now, and that's kind of where some of my lucid living is really getting highlighted. And I'll go further into that later on. But, in conjunction with like the Mercury retrograde that we're just going into, like, I'm really seeing that come up as like one of the biggest lessons right now. And like loving myself, but also like trying not to have such harsh criticism on myself and allowing it to be a little lighter, because I feel like that's something that we're very good at, like criticism, self-criticism. And I just, I don't feel like it's always necessary or, helpful. Um, but I completely understand what you're talking about with the roller coaster. I've been feeling that as well. And same Urania with, having a lot of insights come through. That's what I've been feeling the last week or so, especially. I've been having a lot of like really intense crash outs where like I don't feel like I'm inside my body, or I'm inside my body and I feel like, and trigger warning, and not to be like too graphic, but like the way I've been feeling is my overstimulation has been so intense that I want to rip out all my fingernails, I want to rip out all my hair, I want to tear my skin off, because like I'm so overwhelmed by the feeling of being in my own body. And I just kind of got over the hump of that over the last couple of days. And, a part of that did show up in my dream space as well. I think I talked to you, Urania, about this, how I had started watching that show on Max called It Welcome the Dairy, which is a horror show based on the Stephen King novel and movie It. It's amazing. But that night I went to sleep and I had a anxious dream around, like, I didn't mention this before, but it was in black and white, which is interesting because the show is not in black and white, but the dream was in black and white. And it was very simple. I was in a store, but I was in a bed. Like, it was like a convenience store, like an old convenience store. And I was in a bed sleeping with a couple other people. And all of the sudden, something started pulling my body and twisting it around. And I kind of like was like aware that I was, I'm lucid in my dream. I'm like, I really don't feel like dealing with this. And like kind of like woke myself up to go back into another dream because I didn't want to experience that. But now that I've had some time away from that, I realize that it's actually less about the show and the day residue from that, and more about the last couple of weeks of not feeling in control of myself and my body. And so it has been a struggle. Like, I've been at home yelling, and I'm yelling like, I can't regulate my emotions. Like, I want to talk at a normal volume, but this is all I can do. And I feel really bad, but I couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the tides have settled and I'm at a reasonable space, and I don't feel like ripping my hair out, and I feel the things are connecting, and it's really bringing me back to like some of the lessons that I feel like I need to pay more attention to and really lean into around just living in my body and being myself. So lately I've been having a tough time, but as of the last couple of days, I can thankfully say that I have been feeling very much myself and out of that space.
So, I mean, you did bring up some really important points, which we can go deeper into this after you share the one announcement we have. But I just want to make sure we bookmark it here, is that the presence is so important, when it comes to lucid living, whether you're lucid in the dream space or lucid in the waking space. And again, you just demonstrated how it was a reflection, because you were avoidant in the waking space with some things. And then you had this dream experience where you're just like, I don't want to deal with this here either. So I'm going to wake up, right? Or I'm going to, wake up and hopefully be in another dream.
Right.
And so again, we still have those parallels, of the dreaming space and the waking space. And so, it's really good that you have the clarity and you're paying attention to your dreams and you're in that state of awareness where you're noticing it, even if you don't feel ready to deal at that moment, like you still have the awareness that it's happening and you still acknowledge it, which is really important too, is like acknowledging it and then giving yourself the grace. Like you don't have to take it on all at once, right? Like you'll get to the point where you're like, okay, I'm dealing with it. But sometimes you just have to, do what you got to do, be in how you're feeling. And then when you feel ready and grounded, you can approach that and navigate whatever is coming forth from that experience. So that's really important to bookmark. But do you want to share the announcement for
Yes. On a lighter note, so Urania, Andrea, and I are both dream experts on a developing app called Dreamigos. It's a wonderful dream recording app. You can record your dreams in a variety of different ways and keep them private to yourself, or you have the opportunity to share them on the dream line, where you can get guidance and interpretation from one of our many dream experts. You can find this on the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. And one of my favorite things about this app is that when you sign up, you have access to our monthly free dream circle. This is a wonderful opportunity for you to find community within the dream space. And, we've had almost all of our dream experts host with incredible different topics. And we even do roundtable type conversations where all of us come together and open the floor up to questions and dream shares. It's such a great time. So if you haven't downloaded the app today, go do that, sign up, and have access to the wonderful things that it supplies you with.
What a commercial. I
know,
that
right?
was so
good at it.
Oh my gosh. You're hired.
I'm sorry, you have to do it every time.
No, I don't mind it. It's like a script now in my head that I like, I tweak it here and there, and I don't always say the same thing, but I try to get like the same points across and like really emphasize how much of a wonderful tool it is, and the community is great.
It is.
Yeah. And so the link to access Dreamigos app is in the description of this video. And also this next Dream Circle, which will be December 2nd, the three of us are going to be hosting together. We're going to talk about nightmares, anxious dreams, stress dreaming, all of that. So if you are curious, or if you've been experiencing it and you want some guidance, definitely join us next month.
Perfect timing for the holidays, honestly.
Yeah. A lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, unfortunately, but yeah. So we will be there to support you if you have any questions or dreams to share. All right. So I think it's, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if Andrea, did you want to share anything about Dreamigos?
You sold it so well. I don't think I have anything to add. I mean, I could talk about it forever, and I say this every time I talk about it, but the thing that I've hit the point where I feel like I'm having AI fatigue. It's just like everywhere you look, everything you read, it's like ChatGPT, I know it's you. And that's what I love about Dreamigos, is that it's us, it's real people. It's like, and that's what dream work is. There are so many different dream apps out there where you can plug in your dream and then boom, get an interpretation within a second. But what's so cool about Dreamigos is that it is like, it's all humans, and all different perspective, all different lenses. And so that's one of my favorite parts about Dreamigos is the community and connecting one-to-one. And I love it. I'm so proud to be a part of it.
Yeah. That is a good point.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out.
No, you're good.
I just wanted to also mention real quick that we do now offer a premium offer. So for, I think, $5 a month.
$5.
You have access to some of the wonderful creations that the Dream Experts have put out. Urania has done an incredible job with a guidebook for your moon phase in the dreams. I put out a guidebook for how to create art based on your dream space. And there's so many other resources as well, and other opportunities that you get with this premium. And it's really not even that bad for what you're getting, like price wise.
And you'll get a consultation with one of the experts for 45 minutes. And that is usually valued at hundreds of dollars and you get it for
Right.
$5 a
$5.
month.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome.
Premium.dreamigos.com.
Awesome. Thank you guys. All right. So I think it's probably a good idea for us to share our perspective or our definition of what lucid living is. And for those of you watching or listening, feel free to share in the chat or in the comments what you define lucid living to be, or and if you practice it, if you experience it in your life, we would love to hear how your experience is and your perspective. So Andrea, since you're the pro here, the expert, I will let you go
Sure.
first.
Yeah, so I think in order to kind of define lucid living, I think it's helpful to define lucid dreaming to
Mhm.
start because um, lucid dreaming is a skill that you learn once you get into dream work, and it's when you wake up in your dream and you're aware that you're dreaming. You can take it a step further and control your dream. It's up to you. Some people like to control their dreams. Some people just like to be aware and just sort of let it flow naturally. And that is, you can translate that into your waking life. You can live lucidly. And to me, what lucid living is just being hyper aware and noticing and acting as if life is a dream. And I mention it every time I do this, any type of dream talk, but Tibetan dream yogis, they share that your dream time, your dream space, and your waking life are not separate.
Mm,
So it's all connected, it's all one. Like life is a dream. And so when you start living your life as if it's a dream, it makes life a
mm,
lot more fun. And it makes it a lot, in my opinion, and in my experience, it's made it a lot more manageable because you'll experience things and you can ask, okay, if this were a dream, how would I interpret it? Why did this happen? What does this mean? You can interpret any circumstance as
mm,
if it's a symbol. And so it's just kind of made my life a lot more manageable, but also just more whimsical, more beautiful. Like I notice things all the time around me, all the synchronicities, all the little signs and coincidences, but just kind of flowing with life. And then you can also control it like you can control your dream. It's like, all right, I don't like that. I'm going to shift that. I'm going to switch it. I'm going to face this and work with it. So that's my long-winded definition of lucid living.
mm. Alexis, you want to go next? Oh, wait, sorry to interrupt you. All right, Alexis. But yeah, I want to just say, just adding to that, you did answer my question because I was gonna say, what is life as a dream? Like when you first said that, what I interpreted was like, you know how when people have a fantasy, right? Like this is my dream life, and it almost seems unattainable.
Uh-huh.
Um, is that different, than how are you were explaining that, how you perceive living your life as a dream, like, yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it's all kind of like, for example, there's a lot of things. I think when I think of lucid living, it's like awareness, but also a unique perspective. It's like looking at things in a different way. So in a lucid dream, you can do anything. You can do anything. And so we have this belief in our waking life that it's like, well, we can't do that. We can't do that. But what if you look at it a little bit differently? So it's like, for example, well, we can't fly. Yes, we can. We can fly. It's just we're in a metal container, you know? We can't walk through walls. Yes, we can, but we have to like install a door first and then we can walk through the wall. You know, just like little things like that where it's like, oh, I can do anything. It's just a little different and maybe a little bit more limited because of this 3D world that we're living on. I don't know if
Mm.
that answers your question, but
Yeah,
like
no,
for another example is like when things happen in your waking life. I had a friend who she had to take her car in to work on her brakes. I heard that and I instantly was like, well, if that were a dream, I know what that would mean. Because she was like, always had plans, always busy, busy, busy. And then, like, I'm so tired, I'm so tired. And then she had issues with her brakes on her car. And it's like, if this were a dream, the dream would basically be saying, like, your car brakes are like, hey, take a break. You need to slow down. And so I think things like that are happening in our lives all the time. We just don't really look at it in that type of way.
Wow.
We're
Yeah.
just like, oh shit, our car brakes, like now it's, $1,000 or whatever. But it's like, oh, maybe this is actually a lesson for me. Maybe this is a message.
I love that. I
At least
love that.
I think it's
Yeah.
fun to think that
You know,
way.
I love that.
If this were a dream, what would it mean?
Mhm.
Oh my God, I'm gonna have so much fun with that.
Yay!
Yes, 100%.
What about you, Alexis?
Oh yeah. I completely forgot I was next. Sorry. So Lucid Living for me has always been like this integration of the dream space and the waking space. I spent a lot of my life from a really, really little kid, like toddler age, to really not that long ago, living in a constant state of like dreaming and daydreaming. And it was an escape to
Hmm.
be separate from the waking space and what difficulties I was experiencing. And, lucid dreaming is having the balance and having the awareness in the waking space and the dream space and allowing yourself to live in both simultaneously. Pretty much, along those same lines of what you had said. But it's really just being mindful in both the waking and the dreaming, and pulling out the correlations, paying attention to the synchronicities, the lessons that are being, thrown at you, and, integrating that into your mental, emotional, spiritual, and physical self. Just like I had broken down that dream around, you know, not feeling like I had control of my body, and it first being kind of masked as this day residue from a show, but actually really it was telling me that, it was reflecting in my dream space how I've actually been feeling physically,
Mm.
and like breaking that down and understanding myself on another level where I didn't really understand fully what was happening when it was happening. It took a couple days away from it and this dream to really help me to get to the bottom of what was going on. And so taking those lessons in the dreaming and applying them to the waking, but also taking the lessons in the waking and applying them to the dreaming. Like you said, some people like to be aware within their dream space and kind of go with the flow of the dream and not really change much and just kind of like be present and aware in what it's feeding you, what it's giving you, the journey it's taking you on. And that's me.
Hmm.
That's how I
Hmm.
mostly have always been. And, there's a lot of things that you can pull in from what you have learned and know in your day-to-day waking space into that dreaming space. So yeah, that's how I approach life in lucid dreaming.
Mm,
I love it.
I love that too. Yeah, Alexis, I feel that like I remember when something shifted for you. I think it was Sunday. Like I
Yep.
noted that was when you had all those synchronicities, like major synchronicities, like everything that was happening, just like running into your sister and then a friend, like a
Mhm.
family friend from like years ago that you haven't seen in a while. And like it was just so much that was happening. Like I think I even mentioned it to you. I was like, oh, you're like in that sweet spot. You're like in the right place at the right time.
Mhm.
And so I don't remember, and this might be an interesting thing for you, or you can probably answer it now, but I don't remember if you had like a good dream before that, or you had the shift after that. So I don't know what happened, if it was in waking life first and then the dream or dream space, or
What so essentially Sunday, so Saturday I reached a peak of like my intensity. And then Sunday I woke up, I hadn't remembered my dream from the night before. But I woke up and I knew I wanted to go to this place. Like immediately, I got in the shower, I got ready, and I left. And I walked in. And as I was getting myself situated in the cafe, there's always a lot of people there. It's a very busy cafe, which makes sense because it's one of my favorite cafes ever. But as I was about to sit at a community table, somebody who was at a single table was packing up and leaving. So I took that place, and I got my drink. I got my Welsh cheddar bread with butter and jam, and I sat down and I was prepared to be alone by myself in a state of contemplation and reflection, journaling and pulling tarot and whatever. And I look up and I see my sister walking in, and I'm like it didn't feel real. It actually felt kind of like a dream. Like it was so random. And she was like, "What are you doing here?" I'm like, "I just felt like coming. Like, I don't know." And I was like, "Why are you here?" And she was like, "Well, so and so wanted to meet up." And I was like, "Well, if you don't feel uncomfortable with this, feel free to pull up a chair. It's very busy. You can sit with me and we can all hang out." And we did. We were there a half hour after it closed. And it was a really great clearing. Yeah. And that night when I went to sleep, I had a dream where my sister and I were in a car with the family and they wanted to go to a pastry shop. And I had been to a dream location where it was in my dream. I've been there previously. It's like a college campus, but like very, very old. And there was a pastry shop cafe next to an antique store. And I was telling my sister, I was like, I know exactly where we can go. And I essentially brought my sister to a previous dream location. Unfortunately, by the time we got to the edge of the property, my sister had reached the phone, like had gotten into contact with them and was like, and they basically said they were closed. But we were on
waking life, or
no, this is in the dream.
Oh, the dream. Okay, that's what I thought at first, but then I was like, wait a minute.
Mixed.
Yeah, I was just saying this is definitely a dream.
That's what I thought it was. Okay,
but we didn't get to the little campus. We were on the outskirts of it, which had a horse farm. And there were these two special horses that had some kind of like developmental disability. And there were these two old women, like crones, who were taking care of these horses. And we were like just kind of in this sacred space for a moment. And then I immediately was kind of pulled away from this dream and put into another dream where I was in the middle of the street at night. And these two gallery owners were like, coming up to me and talking to me about the art I had submitted into their gallery. And one pulled out my art and the other one was looking at it, basically going, this is like mid, like there's no depth. This is terrible. Like, why would you even submit this? Like, what is this? And I woke up from that dream and, that night it had been the first day of Mercury retrograde, which Mercury is in Sagittarius, which is highlighting my second house, which is of value, self-esteem, self-value, self-worth. And it really aligned up, but also where I am in my life right now with feeling like I've reached a plateau and I'm in a liminal space. And normally I'm okay with being in a liminal space, but this liminal space feels especially foreign and challenging. Mm-hmm. And so now I'm taking that dream and I'm, okay, where am I having resistance? Where am I feeling uncomfortable? I'm feeling uncomfortable with the criticisms that I have with myself. Instead of actually doing something and starting something that makes me feel good, I'm just saying I can't do it. And I don't feel like I start a little bit and then I judge myself before I actually get far enough into it to actually feel accomplished. And so I had to stop myself and reflect and be kind of have like a talk with myself around my self-worth and my self-esteem. And since then, I've been working on digital artwork, and I met up with the author of a book I illustrated that we're at the end point of right now. And for the most part, she likes everything that's printed, even though I'm like, I want to redo everything right now. I hate it. But we're literally at the point of publishing. It's not going to be like published yet. It's just printed out for her grandkids is what she wants for the holidays. But I'm putting the lessons that I'm learned from my dream space into my waking, and now I'm pulling them out and putting it into my art, and I'm just feeling a little bit more accomplished and a little better about myself.
Yeah, I like that.
Sorry, I know that was long-winded.
No, you're fine. I was also giving space for Andrea. I don't know if you had any comments or anything.
No, I just loved everything that you said. One of the magnets on my fridge is life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And it's like, it feels like that liminal space, you know, you're saying you're feeling a little discomfort with it. And it's like, yes, that means you're leveling up. So that's really cool.
Right. Well, symbolically, it's interesting because what's coming through is like locks to doors and thresholds and keys, and the keys are just like this far away from the door lock. So it's like I'm so close to unlocking that next whatever it is.
We are the same. I literally was thinking
like
today that I'm like, why do I always get to 90%, 95%? And then I'm like, and I'm like, what is it that?
Well, I also know. Sorry, I didn't mean to.
What do you know?
Tell me. I'm simultaneously afraid of succeeding and failing.
And
like I'm afraid
I think
of both of those things.
I think that's why in the dream, like your sister did not make it to the location, because it's like it's the fear of like being seen. It's like actually putting yourself out there, and that's what I face too. And so it's like it makes sense that your sister like got pulled away at the 100% line, you know, because then it's like, oh, I actually have to show what I'm doing. Yeah, that's how I feel, at least with mine.
I feel like right now, and I could be wrong, but I feel like a lot of us are at a space where like we kind of feel disconnected with ourselves, but we kind of feel connected with ourselves, and we know we want to move towards a certain thing, but we're not quite sure what that thing is, but we do know what it is, but we don't know what it is. And it's like it's this weird like duality, you know, like and I feel as though there's going to be a really big push forward. I feel like we're waiting these tides, and it kind of keeps crashing over us and pulling us back a little bit, but we're about to like move forward past that into like a clearing. And I'm really excited for that.
Yeah. For me, I feel that push was the 1111 portal.
Right.
Like it's like, I don't know, like I feel I'm kind of on the flip side. I feel like I've been doing a lot, and I feel that I keep adding things to my plate. Like I finally finished some big things, and now I'm at the space too where I just like I want more, or I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I finally had some big things manifest, and now I'm like, okay, now what? Now I want more. So it's like I've kind of crossed that threshold. And I think for a lot of us, we feel like we're not the same person, that's for sure. Right.
Oh, right.
And we're in this new essence of ourselves, and it hasn't really fully settled in. And like parts of us like keep leaning or maybe reaching for that old self, and like little things that are, you could say, tied to that old self, or like that's a comfort there, or maybe a pattern, but it doesn't fit. It's not in alignment anymore. So that's kind of where we start feeling like we're in the in between, even though we are like, we're this new essence and we're in this new like frequency for ourselves. And so that's why it is really good to you know, be like, pay attention to your dream space. And for me with Lucid Living, I kind of feel both of you, like I embody both of what you two have said and practice in your perspective. And for me, like, again, there is no separation. Like, I don't think that you can, you know, you can lucid, like you can have a lucid life to a certain degree, but if you're not paying attention to your dreams, if you're not present with your dreams, and you don't have to be lucid dreaming and do all of this stuff, but just even the presence and the acknowledgement of what's coming through your dreams, and like being open to receiving that guidance and also acting on that. That is lucid living. That is so important, because like the dream work, I always say is like, it's the most profound shadow work you could ever do, because it is you facing yourself, you connecting with the deepest, most quietest, most fearful, like all the things are, it's like you're connecting with what's within you. And it's a very intimate relationship. And, you know, of course you both know, and I know those of you listening and watching, that essentially it's like no one can tell you, like we can all share our perspective, but you only truly know because you truly feel. It's like something you can't even put into words. And so to not have connection with that part of your life, that aspect, like how are you fully living? You know, and it's not necessarily a judgment thing. It's just like you're missing a whole major part of yourself, right?
Yeah. No, I don't think it's judgment at all. I think it's like, hey, this is something that is wildly helpful and could really change the way you move through your existence. So, like, I tell people all the time, because it's true, like, a lot of people are too busy in their waking space to give dreaming the time of day. And it's like, you don't realize how much you actually need that dream to help you. I mean, at base level, it's problem solving. Base level, it's problem solving. Base level, you are moving through things in your day to day that you can't quite figure out when you're awake. And it's problem solving those things for you in your sleep. So, you know, whether you should take that job, whether you should bond with a certain person, whether you should break up with your husband, whether you should travel to this country, whether you like all of these things, even if they're minor, like, you know, should I go for this promotion or should I stay in the position I'm in? Like, there's so much problem solving that alone can completely influence the way you move through life. That's just one level of dreaming. There's a whole other spectrum that you're not acknowledging on top of that. And it's just, you know, once you move into that space of acknowledging the unconscious and allowing it to hold your hand through life, things just become so much more clearer and you become more whole.
Yeah. I like what Kaylee said in the comment. So Kaylee says, when Andrea said being aware, in quotes, it resonated a lot. I also agree with this. When I lower the distractions or quiet my mind, even just a bit, I start to notice daily connections all around me. And that is incredibly important. I know that when, like, just paying attention to the dream space, I know when I'm just like too busy, like when I need to slow down in my waking life, because like I don't remember my dreams, or I might remember them, but I don't, you know, take the time to record, like to write them down, or, you know, do a voice recording or anything like that. And it's just go, go, go. And then if I continue to do that, and this is just my own pattern, but I will then start to have like anxious dreams or stressful dreams. And I can tell, like, you know, so it's almost like a wellness check for me, like being in connection with my dreams and my waking space. It's like I can see when it's out of balance, but then when I'm in that sweet spot where, you know, things are flowing in my waking life, and, you know, I'm making time to meditate, or I have time to like journal and do things in the morning, and therefore I'm 9 times out of 10, I'm also having the time to write my dreams, or to maybe go back and revisit a dream, and, you know, and try to unpack the meaning there, or peel back another layer. I can always see where I'm at, like from the dream space and the waking space. And they tend to, like, essentially when I'm in the sweet spot and I'm just in flow, I have these really profound dreams, like, you know, those divine, insightful type dreams, or you might have a spirit guide, or just like, they're so much fun. Or maybe you're even lucid dreaming, and, you know, they kind of feed off of each other. Like that energy from that kind of dream definitely influences your day and your morning. Like you just wake up in a good vibe, and, you know, you're able to receive the messages easier when you're in that space. Like, you know, if I was stressed and I was too busy that message will probably be sent as a nightmare or an anxious dream. But when I'm in like more presence and, I'm going on my nature walks and doing all of those things, I experience probably the same message, but in a more gentle or spiritual way, because I'm in that frequency. And so again, my biggest thing is, it's like, in order to like fully live, and like you said, Alexis, to be whole, is really the integration of both. Like you said, Andrea, it's, they're not separated. Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to bring this to science and spirituality, astronomy and astrology, all of those things. It's like, they're one and the same. We just have either the outward expression or the inward expression, but they're truly one and the same. And that's the beauty, when you can start to see the connection and the oneness in all of these different aspects and philosophies. I love it.
Oneness. Amazing book, by the way.
Is that a book?
It's
Called
Oneness. Oh, okay. But yeah, I agree with everything you're all saying. And on my fridge, I have those like poetry magnets, and every now and then I'll just kind of like make a poem. And I feel like a theme in my life lately is because I know that I tend to stay in the light. I tend to be like positive. I'm kind of the golden retriever. Like, if it's bad, just like ignore it or I'm good at overcoming things. But I think, especially living alone, it's like, all right, we got to like actually face it and not only acknowledge it, but like accept it and love it. And so a poem I wrote recently, I don't know if you would call it a poem, but the magnets are limiting, but it said, I wrote, to transcend is to love the light and the dark. And for me, that was a big epiphany, because it was like, oh, and I don't know if you've watched K-pop Demon Hunters yet.
Yeah.
So good. And I
So
watched it like 2 nights ago, and I was like, oh, this is like exactly what I have been embodying, of like the shadow parts and like the nightmare parts, the crappy things that happen throughout our day. It's like, okay, this is here for a reason. And then my shadow side, it's like, it's okay. Like, don't try to resist it. Just live it and then move on. You always come out of the darkness, but don't try to bypass the darkness. Go through it, have a support system if you have one, and then you'll make it through. And then that, I think that's how, because I love thinking of time as like a spiral. It's like, it's not linear, it's a spiral. It's like we come back to these things, and it's like you gotta, that's why I feel like I have deja vu all the time. I'm like, oh, I'm getting this experience again. Let's see how I move through it this time. And I've had some interesting moments recently, actually. Like, I was driving on I-5, and I can be kind of a fast driver, not super fast, but Seattle drivers, they're pretty fast. And I'm usually in the left lane passing everybody. And I actually had to challenge myself. I'm like, Andrea, stay in the right lane. This is your challenge for the day. And I'm like, this sucks. Like, everybody's five below. But then you kind of get into it and you're like, oh, like, and then you hit traffic and you almost catch up to the people who are going 10 over. And it's like, oh, we're all going to end up in the same place. Maybe they're just like 2 minutes faster. And so as I'm in the right lane, like going five below, I'm like, I feel a little bit more calm right now. And I'm not kidding. A car passed me on the left, and the license plate was CLM. And I was like, oh, yeah,
Wow.
okay.
Love
Like,
that.
if this were a dream, just like, and I think that is such a theme for me as well, is not just slowing down, but presence. When you are lucid living, when you are present, life automatically slows down because you're noticing, you're so in touch with the moment. And another example is like, I walk this lake called Green Lake, and it's almost 3 miles. I walk it all the time. And there's a blue heron or a couple blue herons. And it's always like my mission. Like, I'm going to see the blue heron, because blue herons are my spirit animal. I'm so connected to them. And so every time I'm like looking around, I see all these mushrooms and all, I like notice all the crows, the different types of birds, I even got a brochure of the different types of, really showing my age now. I'm like studying the trees, but I love finding the blue heron. And the last walk I did, I found the blue heron in a really like tucked away spot, and I was like, I found you. So I always like stop and admire, and and you'll notice when you become present and when you pause, you'll notice how fast life is moving by you. Because I'm looking and I want to like, get eye contact with someone to be like, I spotted the heron, because the heron's kind of famous at Green Lake. So I'm like, I found it. But everyone's like, like walking so fast, and it's like, slow down. So finally I made eye contact with this woman, and I'm like, I found the heron. And she's like, you found the heron? And she looked at me and she's like, I haven't seen the heron in months. And I'm like, I see it every time I come
Oh,
because I look around. I Walks take me a long time because I'm so like in awe of everything. And it's like every time I walk it, I'm like, oh, the tree lost more leaves. Ooh. And it just, it's, and then you feel like I'll come home and I'm like, it's only 10 a.m. I still have the rest of the day. Like, where did that time go? It feels like your time actually
it
slows
does.
down.
It,
It's
I swear
so
it does.
cool.
I can get when I'm in those sweet spots, it's amazing how much stuff I get done. Like I'm just like zoom, zoom,
Yeah.
this thing done. I'm like, oh my gosh. But when you're like in that place of force or just stress, there's never enough time. Like
Mm-hmm.
Right.
you're just like, I can't,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not to say that it's like good or bad, but I've noticed that too. Like it's
Yeah.
just like everything kind of slows down.
What do you feel like gets you into that sweet spot? If you like wanted to get into the sweet spot, do you have like something that kind of helps you?
Yeah, I mean, I can listen to like either it could be music
It's
specific,
music, I swear.
it could be someone like hearing a talk of like from a like anyone that I follow based or not anyone. I'm just gonna say it like Bashar right now. So if I really want to get myself in the zone, I'll listen to Bashar. Or even if I'm like, I can hit up a friend and just have a conversation about things like this, and then boom. As long as I don't have many distractions, now it's
Hmm.
hard to like stay in that energy because I have a 5-year-old. So it's like I get pulled into, I mean, it's stressful having a little kid. I'm not gonna lie. But if I can start my day by myself, like if I can wake up before everybody, or like when she goes to school and I can get in the zone, like I'm golden,
Hmm.
unless there's something like I have like a intense dream or something happens. But generally if I can like start early in my day with something that I'm passionate about or something that's inspiring, I'm good. Or listen to music that feels really good, like I'm good.
Yeah.
What about you?
I've been I've been saying lately, like I've always heard the expression time flies when you're having fun, but I've come to realize that time flies when you're distracted.
I think you literally
And
said that
You
last
said that
night.
last time. It was
Yeah.
so
did
good.
I?
I was like, I want
Yeah.
to write that down.
That's so funny because I don't even remember saying it last time, but it's
Yeah.
true. Like, and I've been saying that a lot lately. And for me, the way I get into that zone is to simply just be off of my phone.
Hmm.
That's really my biggest thing. If I can be in complete silence and I'm aware, I'm feeling everything, I'm hearing everything, I'm existing in
Hmm.
the space. And if I'm not distracted on my phone, that I'm
Yeah.
really aware. And that's a problem that I have dealt with. I have ADHD. Already have a hard time with the freaking brain stuff, and then the immediate bah
Yeah.
of the phone. It's like it's literally an addiction, and I just have found that as long as I'm off my phone, I'm locked in.
Yeah.
Locked in.
Yeah.
Well, I have something that I have implemented recently that applies directly to that I can't remember if I've talked to you about it before, but I probably haven't talked about it much with anybody because I feel slightly embarrassed that I have to literally buy this thing to help me stay off my phone
Is it
because
the lock? Is it the cage, the jail
the brick.
cage?
It's
Oh.
called the brick.
So can you
I'm gonna
explain
have to
what that
try
is?
that.
Because that's a little
Yes.
different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be the
This
jail
episode,
cell.
no.
I
So
need that.
this episode is sponsored by Brick. Just kidding. No. No, I saw the ads for this and I was like, you know what? I feel like that is actually going to help me because, they have all the things on your phone where you can block certain apps after a certain time, but you can still hit a couple buttons and get them right back.
Yeah.
This is a physical thing. You keep it like I keep it on my fridge and you hold your phone up to it and then it blocks. You can have all these different modes and it blocks certain apps and you can't get around it unless you bring your phone back up to it. So I I wanted to show this because my sleep has improved
Hmm.
so much since I got this
Mm.
because and it's so fun because in the evening, I'm like, okay, I'm clocking out from life. Here we go.
Oh,
And
that's
then
such
I
a good
feel free.
idea.
It literally feels like clocking
The
out.
clocking out, like you
Yes.
sold me at
That
clocking
It
out.
feels so good. And I'm like, oh my, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm like, I'm free. Like I can do anything. And I go to bed. I'm not scrolling. I go to bed and I don't wake up in the middle of the night because I'm realizing like my subconscious mind always knows like, oh, your phone's right there. Like if you wake up, you can just like scroll, fall back asleep. But
Yeah.
now it's like, nope, I don't have that option. And I've been sleeping through the night. I've been waking up almost consistently at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, which
wow.
before 6 a.m. is like crazy early for me, but I'm like, I'm wide awake. And I get up and I do my journaling. I literally have a ceremony in the morning for my coffee.
Yes.
And I'm like, this changes everything. Having this morning routine is and I have all this time, and then sometimes I'll get some client work done, and then I'm like, I have the day. I have
Yeah.
a day, all because of this stupid little brick.
I mean,
But it
it's amazing.
works.
I'm gonna have to try it out.
I
It's
actually really
awesome.
want
I
to try
think
it
it's
out.
like it again, it's embarrassing. It's like $60. So it's like,
It's an
am I
investment.
really
It's,
paying
yeah.
$60 for this? But I'm like,
It seems like it's worth it for you. I mean,
It
definitely.
it makes me excited. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be free now. Like I'm not gonna get distracted. I've been
Yeah.
so much more creative and
Oh, I bet.
so I
Yeah.
recommend it.
I'm gonna try it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that so much, and the reason I love that so much is because it's like incentive. It's like goal setting and incentives. Like, you have the opportunity to go on your phone whenever you want. You're a grown adult. There's no adult there to say, "Hey, your tablet time is done. Like your phone time is done. Time for bed. Time to like start getting ready for
Mm-hmm.
bed. Let me take that away from you." And that's why I really wanted to get the jail cell. Like you
Mm.
can literally get a box that you have to like you put your phone in and you put the
Yeah.
time you want,
Lock it.
you lock it, and it if you try to get it before the time that you set, it won't unlock for you.
Mm.
So you're literally confined from it. But I kind of like
Yeah.
the idea of what you have a little bit more because it is incentive based, it's not punishment based. And I
Yeah.
feel like there's an aspect of that when with the mind and the way that we function that is more productive
Yeah.
than the punishment aspect of
I
it.
love that perspective. And I do find I still use my phone, but it's like, even the other day, my little disco balls were reflecting light in my living room. And it's like my phone was bricked, but I could still use my camera so I could video this
Right.
like beautiful scene in my apartment. So you do have the ability to use those things where you can like create and still be in touch with like family if you need or whatever. So I just kind of block the main social media apps that
That's
suck
perfect.
my life away.
Yeah, that's perfect.
You don't even realize how much time is going.
Ugh,
Like, and
no.
it's kind of like disgusting the way that I use it because I'll be like on Instagram and then I'll go to TikTok and then I'll go to Reddit and then I'll go to Tumblr and then I'll go to like
Well,
Twitter
And
and
then
then I'll go
start
to
over.
and then I'll go to
muscle memory,
Pinterest.
because you'll like I'll go to my phone just to look at, like, maybe I'm looking at my calendar, or I actually have a reason, but just off of muscle memory and habits, I'm like opening Instagram, and then I get caught in it, and then I go out, and then I remember, I'm like, oh wait, no, I was doing something. Like, I went to my phone for a reason, like to message someone, or just, so it's, I mean, it's not, it's,
Doesn't it kind
it's
of
not
feel
silly.
like a fisherman is like baiting you? Like when you're using your, like, because you said you get reeled into it, you get locked into it, like, it's like, here's a little snippet of something that's interesting, all of a sudden you spent the last like 30 minutes looking at random stuff that really didn't benefit you at all, and like that could have been time put towards something more important.
Dude, especially being a parent, like my time is golden to have any time to myself. So it's like I can't be wasting 30 minutes scrolling. But so I want to point out this last comment in the chat, and then I think it's a good time for us to wrap this up. This has been amazing, by the way. This is such a great conversation. So Courtney says, I was on a trip in Italy with my mom when she saw that I live like that. I notice all the trees, birds, insects, etc. I speak to them all. And my mom said, wow, you take it all in. And that's amazing. That's amazing when people notice, and they're just like, wow. And then you feel really special. You're like, oh, wow. I mean, I
we
guess
should be friends, Courtney. We could walk around. And talk to the animals. I do the same. Like I literally,
it's hard not
I could go on another tangent, but I won't.
Like when you are in equilibrium with all of existence, because I don't see a hierarchy. Like a lot of people see humans as like top of the food chain and everything below it, and I kind of see everything as equal. All of the plants, all of the insects, and like I literally will have the best time. Like a bug will be in my like area, and I'll talk to the bug, and I'll show it some of my favorite songs. I'm like, you're gonna die in a couple days. You gotta live through this. Like the one time I was in the kitchen and this fruit fly got drunk with me, and like it was so stupid. Like it got drunk and then it pooped on my table. Like, and they're like this big, like they're so tiny. They like it pooped on the leg of my table, and I'm just cracking up laughing. Like I'm having the best time with this fucking fruit fly. But when you're so connected to everything around you, it makes life so much more enjoyable.
Right.
And like, having people acknowledge that that's something you do is influencing them, even if they don't know it.
Yeah.
Every little thing like that. Like Andrea, you said when you made contact with that person, you talked to them about the herring. They hadn't seen the herring in months, and now they're getting to see it. They wouldn't have saw it without you.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's exactly what Kaylee just said in the comment too. That moment could have inspired her to do it later.
Yeah.
It's so true. The ripple effect is massive. And I think that is why I believe that like you heal the world by healing yourself. And it sounds vain to say like focus on yourself, but like truly I believe that like the fact that I have improved not improved, but just like aligned with my truth so much, I know it's rippling out to other people too. And then it ripples from them and to other people. And it's so magical.
Yeah, it's really important. Yeah.
Society has guided us over the last several hundred years towards the disconnect between ourselves. I mean, even just trusting ourselves.
Yeah.
It's pushed us to believe that we need to, follow, worship, whatever outside resources, outside things. And the reality is you will become more grounded, more aware, more understanding, more open, leaning into your own self rather than relying on these outside things to guide you. Because at the end of the day, you are the ship. You are the steerer of the ship. You're the ship. You're the crew on the ship. Like, and if you don't have all of that organized and treated the way it needs to be treated and put in the places it needs to be placed, like it separates us from each other even more. Like, and I don't want to go too deep into like the patriarchal aspect of that, but there really needs to be more influence from that matriarchal aspect, and finding that balance so we can rely on ourselves to help each other
Yeah.
and become more connected as a society.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I vibe with that.
Well, I'd love to share one more thing before we wrap
Absolutely.
up,
Yeah, let's
but
do it.
I could go on and on and on and on. This
Oh,
is so fun.
We can too.
Um,
It's a challenge every time we want
right?
to get an
It's
hour.
like an hour. It went by really fast. What does that
yeah,
mean?
right.
Um, but something that I have incorporated into my practice, I actually started doing it it was 2019. Um, when I was traveling, my little Harry Potter journals, they have kind of funny notebooks in Vietnam. But I got this notebook, and since I was traveling, I couldn't really carry a lot of notebooks with me, which was really difficult. And so I merged my normal journaling with my dream journal. And I didn't realize the benefit of doing that until I did this and went back through. And as I was reading it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's all just one big story. It's all like,
Yeah.
and there were times where I would read a dream or an experience, and I'd be like, wait, is this a dream or not? I can't tell. Or I would read a weird dream, and then within it's kind of like with the day residue and everything. It's like with the context inside of all my normal journaling, I'm like, oh, this dream makes a lot more sense because it's all in one thing. And so speaking of like duality, we kind of have this notion of like waking life and dream life. And it's like, even the thought of bridging the gap, I don't even want to bridge the gap. I want to merge it. It's all connected. So now I have this new journal where I am doing all of my journaling in it. I'm doing my normal day residue. I'm doing my writing with my intuition, where I literally have conversations with my intuition, which is so helpful, and writing down my dreams. And it's like, it all feels like it just makes so much more sense instead of like having three separate things, like connecting the dots. It's like it's all here. It's been so fun. So I highly recommend doing that.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
funny you say that because I think that's how I first started with
Really?
journaling because I've been journaling for years. I have all my notebooks are there and also in drawers that are a part of my desk. And it kind of I didn't have the same like feeling towards it. It kind of made like I needed the separation for whatever reason.
Interesting.
I think it was I don't know, but I go in phases. So now I actually don't even write my dreams anymore. I like type them out. And then I haven't been doing that. So I like kind of I
Mm-hmm.
flow. So
Mm-hmm.
now, but like hearing you talk about it, and then of course with this conversation, I'm thinking because now I just completed a journal. So I need to get a new journal.
Ooh.
And so I always and these are the kind of journals like Alexis and I kind of go for this.
Oh, I love
I have like all these kinds. So like I
those.
have a whole
One of these.
shelf of just like,
Oh,
yeah,
I love it.
we end up having the same journals
We
too.
do.
That's so cute.
But so I need another one. And so now I'm like curious because I feel like I'm moving back into wanting to like handwrite my dreams again, especially I don't know, it's
Mm-hmm.
this time of year.
Yeah.
I like to spend a lot of time journaling. And so yeah, I might try it out again. So thanks.
Yeah.
See how I
Well,
feel.
in your handwriting too is always again, going through
Yeah.
all of that, I was like, whoa, my handwriting is so different depending on the types of dreams that I have. It's
Yeah.
so fascinating. And one last point I was going to mention too was like going back to lucid living and everything. It's like we know as dream guides, it's like when you dream of characters in your dream, they usually represent like a part of you.
Mhm.
And there's different, theories of what that could mean, but I love thinking about that in waking life too. It's like everything and everyone is a mirror to you. And so I love thinking about encounters I have with people. It's like if this were a dream character, what's their message to
Yeah.
me? What's the lesson? And then like even speaking with you both, it's like you both are like mirrors to me. You guys are representing different parts of me, and you're bringing out like these sides of me that I'm like, oh, I feel really good. I'm really happy. And so it's just been cool to, again, like I feel like you connect with people a lot deeper because you're like, I am you, you are me. There's an African term called Ubuntu, which is like, I think I am you, you are me, something along those lines. And it's just like we are all, again, one. We're all connected. So, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why it's so important to hone in on yourself, because that yourself is the key, the threshold, the door, whatever, to being connected with all of everyone. And
Hmm.
I do have to say, I am right there with you, Urania, where I have not been writing my dreams down as much as I would like to. But I have been trying to just do it with my journaling because I can't do the extra step of pulling out another journal. And I do
Mm.
like it. I do. I have to say I don't go as deep, but I think that has to do with my I've been rushing myself through journaling, and I that kind of brings us back to that need to slow down. I always think of, like, when we were talking about driving on the highway, I always think of driving at a higher speed as time traveling. So
Mm,
it's funny, like that aspect, I'm like, I'm getting to my destination quicker, so I'm time traveling. But
Mm.
when I'm doing everyday tasks, and I'm going faster, I'm not taking in
mm,
everything I need to be taking in. If I'm rushing through my journaling, that I'm not truly allowing things to flow.
mhm.
And that's something that I definitely need to lean more into. But yeah, I love this conversation. I always feel like the people we meet, the people we talk to, who we encounter, what we encounter, it opens new paths and doorways for us
Mhm.
in our journey. And, who knows what that'll lead to, but it's always exciting to see, what it does for us in the moment, as well as the long path.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say I'm so grateful for you both and just so happy to be connected with you. And it's like I feel so lucky that I get to see you guys every other week, and
Uh,
it's been so fun to be on this team with you. It
yeah.
really like a part of a team that's like doing something that we live and breathe. Like this is our
Not just like work. This is
dream.
our life. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so cool that we're doing it. And I'm just so inspired by you both.
Yeah. Likewise. This is not going to be the last time we chat
Absolutely not.
here. We're
Good.
definitely going to have you on. So definitely think of,
Yay!
anything you want to talk about, or, anyone listening, watching, if there's something else you want to hear about from Andrea, like let us know, and we'll be having her back. So thank you so much
Yay.
for being here. Any last words from either one of you, or you feel good?
I'm changing my term from sweet dreams to sweet dream. I just decided that last night because I was like, oh, I noticed I always write sweet dreams, but I want to view it as everything. This is such a sweet dream that we're a part of. So, sweet dream.
Oh, thank you.
I love that. And
Thank
I just
you.
want to say that, being that we're in an interesting state astrologically right now, really hone in, pay attention to your dreams, and pay attention to the way that they're reflecting your waking space.
Yeah.
Because I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot more of that integration in the dream space than you might be used to.
Mm,
Mercury retrograde obviously brings up lessons, but I'm definitely seeing a difference in this one so far. And I don't know if you are feeling the same way, but I am definitely feeling a little bit of a difference than the last time we were in Mercury retrograde.
yeah. Yeah, definitely the last one was a little bit wild. So yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for being here, for commenting, for sharing. And please like the video. Please share with a friend, subscribe, follow, all the things. check out Dreamigos. The link is in the description of this video. And we will be back next Wednesday live for our Dark Moon Dream Reflection. So we'll be talking about how our dream space has been over the past lunar cycle. And Andrea, you know what? We'll have to have you on for one of those just to like hang out and chat with us.
I would love that.
So that would be
Anytime.
yeah,
Anytime.
because we just share our dreams and any themes, and we'll pull some
Yeah.
oracle and tarot cards, and so that'll be
And I
fun.
can't wait for our dream circle too. That'll be
Yes.
so much fun.
Circle December 2nd. Everyone come join us.
Yay.
We'll have the link for that here soon. But until then, thank you.
Sweet
Sweet
dreams.
dreams.